Trash-talking Jordan? Jeez, that can never end well. MJ was the king of trash-talking, take on the devil but never an MJ. And what would happen if you dared to take the Black Jesus on? Well, today we will tell you about when players trash-talked MJ and regretted it. And at number 9 is the time MJ took revenge on the guy who called him out in training. Yes, in training. Jeez, my boy is competitive. The scene took place when he was filming Space Jam in Los Angeles. Jordan wasn't just hitting the movie set, he was also on the court getting back into his basketball groove, calling on a bunch of hoop-hungry ballers, including NBA and college players to train with him. One lucky invitee was Martin, a slick 5'11" guard from UCLA who had already shown his skills in the NBA with the Timberwolves. In a jaw-dropping moment, Martin breezed past Jordan's defense for the game-winning layup, and what did he do next? Oh yeah, he decided it was time to stir the pot a bit with some good old trash talk. Mickael, you get out of my town. You're not even the real MJ. My man Magic is the real MJ. Yikes. You don't say to Jordan, you just don't. There had to be a reaction and there was. He proved who the real MJ was. In a match between the Bulls and the Grizzlies, the Bulls were very weary and couldn't catch a break against the relentless Grizzlies. By the fourth quarter, Vancouver was flexing a 9-point lead, and guess who decided it was the perfect time to turn up the trash talk? You got it. It was Martin. One more time. Told you, we're gonna whoop your tonight, said Martin after scoring. Till this point, Jordan had an awful game with just 10 points to his name, but upon hearing what Martin said, he tied his shoes back up, subbed into the game, and led the Bulls to a 94-88 come-from-behind win. Wow. Talk about a comeback. Jordan was spectacular in the game's final 6 minutes, scoring 19 points in that stretch for 29 and greeted Martin with, "Shut up, you little..." Goosebumps, right? But hold on, because this is just the beginning, because the trash talks that are about to come are out of this world. Like at number 8, Mutombo got a taste of his own medicine. Spoiler alert, it didn't end well for him. You see, back in 1991, Mutombo's Denver Nuggets faced off against the Bulls, and he made the mistake of chirping at Jordan during a free throw. The reaction? Jordan made a free throw with his eyes closed. Come on, that is peak showboating now. And this wasn't it. Fast forward to 97 during an all-star break, Mutombo couldn't resist bragging to MJ about never being dunked on by him. Bad move, buddy, because Jordan took it as a personal challenge and did this. Ice cold. He left Mutombo with a serious case of foot and mouth syndrome, just like Stackhouse at number 7, who got humiliated so badly he refused to admit he trash-talked MJ. Let's rewind to 95 when Jerry Stackhouse, the UNC alum with a serious MJ vibe, stepped into the NBA spotlight. Sporting the same college colors and drafted into the same sport as his airness, Stackhouse couldn't help but stir the comparison pot. But when he boasted that not even MJ could stop him, he lit the fire under Jordan's sneakers. You don't say this stuff to Jordan, you just don't.
Jordan over River. Luke, good outlet pass to Ronnie Harper. Mickael was climbing up in the air. Far for the Bulls, 19 points, but when you're down and give that up.
Cue the epic showdown. MJ burst onto the court, dropping points like confetti and winking at the opposition like it was a casual game of hoops in the backyard. By the final buzzer, Jordan had racked up a legendary 48 points, leaving Stackhouse in the dust with a measly 13. And even though Stackhouse denied ever talking big, MJ and the Bulls weren't buying it. Looks like MJ had a little extra pep in his step that night, courtesy of Stackhouse's bravado, but he wouldn't have opened his mouth anytime again. When Jordan replies to you, you tongue twist. You can't speak straight again. Number 6 went one step further and lost his tooth to trash talking. And guess what he said? Nothing. He just called Jordan overrated. That's it. Talk about a bold move, right? Growing up in Detroit, Rose wasn't exactly waving the MJ fan flag. It was all about the bad boys Pistons, and boy, did they have beef with MJ's Bulls back in the day. When the Pistons famously snubbed the Bulls after a tough loss in the 91 playoffs, Rose was all in, backing his hometown heroes. When Jordan made a comeback with the Wizards, and Rose finally got his chance to face off against his basketball nemesis. And let's just say, things got a tad physical. Maybe more than a bit with MJ breaking Rose's tooth. MJ not only admitted that he did this deliberately, but also defended his move. Now, this might seem a bit ironic coming from MJ, who was known for his trash-talking antics, heat of the moment or whatever, but one can certainly say it was some hit from MJ. Later on, Rose confessed to repeatedly dissing Mickael, claiming that every time they crossed paths, chaos ensued. Even before the infamous elbow incident, they had faced off in an epic showdown between the Indiana Pacers and the Washington Wizards. Initially, Rose was riding high, racking up a cool 30 points. But then, things took a nosedive, and after a slam dunk, Rose's ego went into overdrive, and he started spewing some seriously nasty words at Jordan, words that we couldn't even air. The tension was immense. And Rose paid the price by getting the boot from the game, being forced to watch from the sidelines. Looking back, Rose realized he had made a misstep and has since seen the light, even admitting that Mickael truly is the GOAT. The power of hindsight and a little humility. Well, you sometimes have to teach this humility to not only the players, but the team owners as well, because diving into the top 5, we have the moment Jordan gave a shut-up call to Utah's owner. In the 1987 NBA season, MJ and the Bulls were squaring off against the Utah Jazz, and MJ sailed past John Stockton for a slam dunk that shook the rafters. This was the time Larry Miller decided to play referee from the sidelines, shouting, "Hey MJ, pick on someone your own size." Now that's throwing down the gauntlet, but MJ was ready. The next play, with only 2 defenders to bait, MJ took flight again, this time soaring over the towering Mel Turpin, who was a whopping 7'1". Wow, he even shouted, "How's that for size?" Nah, Larry got a front row seat to MJ's dunking extravaganza, and boy did MJ deliver. And talking about delivery, at number 4 we have the time Jordan gave a befitting reply to the guy who called himself the Jordan Stopper. Is there anyone who could actually do that? Well, Wilkins thought he could, rewinding the electrifying 1993 playoffs, where the Bulls clashed with the Cleveland Cavaliers in a mouth-watering tie. The Bulls were facing some hurdles with injuries to Horace Grant and Pippen, but that didn't stop Wilkins from talking up his defense against none other than MJ himself.
They needed 21-16. Jordan puts a stop to that. Their offensive player takes it straight to the hoop.
You see, MJ wasn't about to let that slide. He seized control of the game, unleashing a jaw-dropping 43-point performance that left Wilkins eating his words. After the game, MJ couldn't help but grin as he remarked, "Looks like the so-called Jordan Stopper had a tough time tonight." Maybe Wilkins should have kept quiet and let sleeping dogs lie, because he definitely woke up the beast in Jordan. The sweet taste of victory and a little dose of humble pie for Wilkins. Jesus, the humbling stories are peaking as we reach the top 3 moments for the night, and believe me, things are only gonna get out of the universe because it's Jordan, the greatest of all times. He doesn't care whether you're a grown-up or a high schooler. Back in 2006, and the summer camp scene was buzzing with energy, especially with the arrival of OJ Mayo. Being the lone high schooler among a sea of college players, Mayo decided to spice things up by unleashing a torrent of trash talk, with lines like, "You can't guard me." He didn't hold back, and neither did Jordan. Despite being 40 years old, he didn't let the young gun run his mouth unchecked. He cleared the gym and took Mayo on himself, with MJ pulling out all the stops, backing Mayo down, sinking post fadeaways, and locking him down in defense. And the banter, it was out of this world. MJ was in rare form, chirping at Mayo with phrases like, "You better scream for mama," and reminding him, "You might rule the high school scene, but I'm the king of the world." Talk about a lesson in humility. Mayo certainly got one there, just like the guy at number 2, Reggie Miller, another young blood blazing with passion. Getting drafted into the NBA isn't a cakewalk, and it seems like every fresh face stepping onto the court comes with a hefty ego. In his rookie year, Reggie made the classic rookie mistake of dissing the one and only Mickael Jordan during an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live. He faced off against MJ in an exhibition game, and while Jordan was just messing around, Miller, with his head held high, found himself ahead 10-4, and he lost the plot here. Well, a naive Reggie took the bait and mouthed off about being the new sheriff in town, questioning Jordan's reign. Big mistake. Very, very big mistake. MJ didn't say a word. Instead, he let his game do the talking, and in the blink of an eye, Jordan turned the tables, leaving Reggie in the dust with a measly 12 points, while he soared ahead with a whopping 44. Jeez, this is humiliation, and he wasn't done yet. As he walked off the court, he gave Reggie a friendly reminder. Watch your mouth and never disrespect Black Jesus again. He must be thankful he wasn't on his team, because the number 1 trash talker for the night got traded for speaking up to the GOAT. Yeah, Richard Hamilton told in a podcast that in a moment of glory, he outplayed the one and the only MJ. But here's the kicker, instead of a humble victory dance, he threw some serious shade, calling Jordan unfit because of his old knees. Yikes. Needless to say, MJ wasn't amused. Being both the basketball legend and team president, Jordan decides that he has had enough of this disrespect, and in a classic boss move, he told the Prophet, "You're out of here." And just like that, Prophet finds himself packing his bags for the Orlando Magic, leaving behind a trail of drama fit for a blockbuster movie. Never speak ill of the king, like never he will make you pay. Well, that was the last trash talk for the night. Honestly, enough to tell you just how cruel Jordan was in the game. Time of our video is over, but hey, don't fret, because we'll be back with more fun content. Till then, head over and subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. See you around, Hoopers!